Namo.
Namo.
From now
and
to the
attaining
attainment of unsurpassed awakening, I and all other sentient beings equal space go for refuge to the Guru, source of all blessings. We go for refuge to the deities, bestowers of supreme city. We go for refuge to the Dakinis, dispeller of all obstacles. We go for refuge to Buddha, the first among humans. We go for refuge to the sublime Dharma, peaceful and free from attachment. We go for refuge to the Sangha, supreme field of accumulation. We go for refuge to the Dhammas, masters of activity. Namo. From now to the attainment of unsurpassed awakening, I and all other sentient beings equal space go for refuge to the Guru, source of all blessings. We go for refuge to the deities, bestowers of supreme city. We go for refuge to the Dakinis, dispeller of all obstacles. We go for refuge to the Buddha, the first among humans. We go for refuge to the sublime Dharma, peaceful and free from attachment. We go for refuge to the Sangha, supreme field of accumulation. We go for refuge to the Dhammas, masters of activity. Namo Dakshanam Kedam Pesanshanam Ludin Zolame Janshubar Ejila Kunjula Malakapchi Yorot Soso Yidam Lakapchi Pasho Kunza Kandro Lakapchi Kani Sowa Sangye Lakapchi Shiva Chandra Damsho Lakapchi Soki Shincho Genda Lakapchi Trile Naga Chokyo Lakapchi. Generating bodhicitta. May all sentient beings from samsara be free from suffering, be joyful and truly abide in supreme happiness. We generate the supreme mind impartial towards all, in order to attain the heart of awakening. In order that we may fully benefit the beings of the six realms, we must attain the stage of Buddhahood in this very lifetime. Therefore, we will be very diligent in its unsurpassed teaching, the path luminously clear by our essence. May all sentient beings of samsara be free from suffering, be joyful and truly abide in supreme happiness. We generate the supreme mind impartial towards all, in order to attain the heart of awakening. In order that we may fully benefit the beings of the six realms, we must attain the stage of Buddhahood in this very lifetime. Therefore, we will be very diligent in its unsurpassed teaching, the path luminously clear by our essence. Kurve samchen dunya dragdrashin, dewa chola yampa nilaga, kunla tanyo nyampe sanshodi, janshu nimpo tapshe dahikir. Dagi drodro sanchen kundon shir, sangye gopan sete topaja, deshi osa doje nimpolam, lame chodri rabe sambargi.
And spontaneously arising as Vajrasattva, the essence of the enlightened mind and utter purity for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Om Vendra Sato Samaya Manupalaya Vendra Sato Tvenopadishta Rito Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Anuratto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sarva Karma Sucha Me Tisam Sriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Bendra Mame Mucha Bendra Bhava Maha Samaya Sarva Om Bendra Sato Samaya Manupalaya Bendra Sato Tvenopadishta Drito Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Suppo Kayo Me Bhava Anuratto Me Bhava
sarva siddhi me parayatsa sarva karma sucha me tisham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sarva tathagata bendra mame munsha bendra bhava maha samaya sato Om Bendra Sato Samaya Manupalaya Bendra Sato Tvenopa Drishta Dito Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sarva Karma Sucha Me Chidam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Bendra Mame Munsha Bendra Bhava Maha Samaya Sato
Om Bendra Sato Ha.
Om Bendra Sato Ha. Om Bendra Sato Ha. Om Bendra Sato Ha.
His crown is moistened with scented water, arranged with flowers and adorned with sumirus, 4 continents and a sun and moon. For offering to visualize Buddha field, may all migrating beings take birth in the pure Buddha realm. Tashi pochu jushing metotram rira vingshi nidegyam padi Sangye Jingla Minte Purvayi Roko Namda Jindu Chopashu Om Guru Deva Dakini Ratna Mangala Pratisha Swaha.
And the Guru Yoga accumulation recitation.
Om Ah Om. In the Buddha field, one's own original pure awareness, in the paths unceasing in radiance, is one's own vibrant energy, the root Guru, to whom I supplicate with devoted mind, bless me to accomplish the rainbow line. Om Ah Om. In the Buddha field, one's own original pure awareness, in the paths unceasing in radiance, is one's own vibrant energy, the root Guru, to whom I supplicate with devoted mind, bless me to accomplish the rainbow line. Om Ahum Rangre Kada Zingam Su Rangam Dame Podana Ransa Sawe Lamala Dai Nuwe Sowade Shalurupa Jinjilu.
So this is the last class, the farewell to a delightful, wonderful retreat. And I have very much a favorite sutta and a profound teaching of Shakyamuni Buddha as a blessing and also as a profound teaching. So if you want a copy of this, it's available online. There's a number of different translations. So you can find it, but also you can always ask for a copy, a PDF of this. So I'm going because of time, going to read it in English for you, and we'll leave the Pali chanting for another time. Thus I've heard. The sutta is called Mangala Sutta, which means the Sutta of Blessings. And it's beautiful because the Buddha gets asked by a radiant being, please tell us what are blessings. It's a fantastic list of blessings. So all these qualities we need to incorporate into our lives. Thus I have heard. Ananda said, his attendant said, thus I've heard. On one occasion, the Exalted One was dwelling at the monastery of Anathapindika in Jeta's grove near Savatthi. Now, when the night was far spent, a certain deity, whose surpassing splendor illuminated the entire Jeta Grove, came to the presence of the Exalted One, and drawing near, respectfully saluted him and stood at one side. Standing thus, he addressed the Exalted One, the Buddha, in verse. Number 1, many deities and men, yearning after the good, have pondered on blessings. Pray, tell me the highest blessing. And then the Buddha responds, number 2, not to associate with fools, to associate with the wise, and to honor those who are worthy of honor. This is the highest blessing. Number 3, to reside in a suitable locality, to have done meritorious actions in the past, and to set oneself in the right course, or the correct, full course. This is the highest blessing. Number 4, vast learning, perfect handicraft, a highly trained discipline, and pleasant speech. This is the highest blessing. 5, the support of father and mother, the cherishing of wife and children, and peaceful occupations. This is the highest blessing. Number 6, liberality, which we translate today, this is a very old translation, as generosity, or in Pali, dana. Generosity, righteous conduct or virtuous conduct, the helping of relatives, and blameless actions. This is the highest blessing. Number 7, to cease and abstain from evil. And actually that word does mean evil there, papa. It's really, really bad actions. Not just unwholesome, really bad actions. Abstention from intoxicants and steadfast in virtue. This is the highest blessing. Number 8, reverence, humility, contentment, gratitude, and the opportune hearing of the Dhamma. This is the highest blessing. Number 9, patience, obedience, sight of the samanas, that is the wanderers and the holy ones. Religious discussions at due season, that is at the right time, the right place. This is the highest blessing. Number 10, self-control or discipline. The holy life, perception of the noble truths, and the realization of nirvana, of freedom. This is the highest blessing. Number 11, he whose mind does not flutter by contact with worldly contingencies. Sorrowless, stainless, and secure. This is the highest blessing. Number 12, to them fulfilling matters such as these, everywhere invincible, in every way moving happily. These are the highest blessings. So I want to pass that on to you, and so many times in my life I've received this blessing from Namjo Rinpoche, many times here, many times a place in the world, and again, because of time limitations, not to chant it, but really take this to heart. So there it is, I pass it on. But you can see it's really very much not so much about meditation. There is some in meditation there. It doesn't even say the word meditation, really. Stainless, all these different qualities. But so much of it is about really good conduct and excellent virtue, excellent ethics, which is the foundation. It's high, and it's also the foundation. So what is a blessing? A blessing is something that brings you to something higher. Yeah? It actually comes from the English word, very old, blood. That's interesting, eh? Blessing comes originally, I forget if it's Latin or Greek, but it really does mean blood sacrifice. But it means to receive blood, to get the blessings of blood, which is vitality and life. So in the path of liberation, we need to sort out that which leads to a very good life for ourselves and other beings, and that which is detrimental. And that is called, as you've heard, about 100 times this last 12 days, that which should be adopted, that which should be discarded, that which should be taken up is cause and effect, that which should be avoided. And if one doesn't have that kind of discrimination through training, life can be very, very difficult, isn't that right? Very, very hard life. Because one doesn't know why difficult, harmful actions happen. It's just a mystery. Why is that happening to me? Must be something in my past, whatever it is. But actually it's cause and effect. And to change a life, one has to know what's blessings. So it's very, very useful to have 2,500 years of teachings, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of great masters recognized by their cultures as highly attained beings who've perfected, maybe not 100%, 50% would be fantastic. Even 10% would be amazing. That would be fantastic. Imagine 50% perfection of virtues and ethics and mental unity. It'd be amazing. So to study what people have learned from the past and to practice with people that are well trained. That means the first line there, don't associate with fools. One has to discern those that are wise, those that are capable of really helping us, those which cause us harm. And from all those qualities, studying the Dharma, listening to mentors and teachers, listening and learning from really good beings in good situations, we can then grow. That is supportive of mental concentration and supportive of insight and liberation. So you don't see too many references to meditation here, do you? And that's because meditation really can come a little bit later. Be sure we can practice right away, but when it says here, self-control, holy life, perception of the noble truths, number 10, and the realization of nibbana, this is where we come to profound meditation. And then you can see out of that meditation, both concentration or unity in life and experience. He whose mind does not flutter by contact with worldly contingencies, sorrowless, stainless, and secure. This is high meditation. This is what I taught about yesterday, which is Mahamudra, Dzogchen, great perfection. We often call penetrative vipassana. What is this experience? So before we can actually really come to what this experience is, we're going to have the basis of coolness, basis of virtue and ethics, so that our minds are not so turbulent in our exploration of the Dharma. So I wanted to bring that to you. This order, this text, is extraordinarily profound. And I would love to see this Mangala Sutta really practiced by people, taken to heart. Because if you open this up like a pith instruction, you open it up, it really will help every aspect of your life. So let's come to the nature of Dhamma. Dhamma in Pali, Dharma in Sanskrit. It really means to find the support. What is the support? What's the ground of all experience? This is what it is. So, as the Buddha said, and many great teachers, Namdra Rinpoche would often repeat, it isn't Dharma, it isn't Dhamma, it isn't Dharma, unless it is the teaching, the support, the unfolding of liberation, of freedom. And this is free of the mind. And the reason being is there's so many different kinds of freedoms. We can have political freedom, we can have economic freedom, we can have societal freedom, all these things. But everything from the standpoint of Buddha Dharma, everything centers around one's mind. And the reason being is everything happens to you. We don't have to be concerned about the interpretation of others. But for us, everything's happening in our mind. And I think that's pretty indisputable. You can't say it's happening over there, because if you know it's happening over there, it's in your mind. And to realize that your mind actually shapes all experience. And that if you change behavior and you change attitude and belief, everything changes. So how you see the world, how you interact with the world, how other people interact with you, how you course through the world, has so much to do with belief, attitude, ethics, virtue, the quality of one's mind. So, and that's not just the quality of the mind. What is this mind? What actually is this mind? What's the essence of mind that contains all this experience? So when we come to Dharma, which is the support of all the ground of support, we're going to have to probe what is this experience. And that's what's really getting people. What should I do? Where should I go? What job should I have? What career should I have? All these kinds of questions. Actually, the deeper question is, what is the nature of all experience? That's Dharma. Not just who am I, not just who are you, but it's all happening in mind. So therefore we need to discover what all is the kernel, what is the essence of all experience. So the Dharma Center of Canada is a place to make those discoveries. And not just through meditation, although we really focus on meditation retreats and study, but a place of study, a place of contemplation, a place of hearing the Dharma, how it's expressed by different teachers, by different traditions. So many different traditions, even within Buddhism. So many flavors of Theravada, so many flavors of Vajrayana, so many flavors of Zen. We think, Zen, no such thing. We think Theravada, no such thing. You wouldn't believe how many traditions and flavors you could meet someone and say, they're not Theravada. They're not Vajrayana. Oh yeah, traditionally. So we have all these kinds of ways of teaching, but the core of the teaching is about liberation, and real liberation. Not imaginary, not conceptual, but a ground of stability, as it says right here, stainless, sorrowless, not to flutter, not to be driven mad by contact with world contingencies, and secure. That means secure in what? There's no security in life. There's security in mind. But anything can happen in life. So this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful teaching here. So the Dharma Center really is, for me, I'm just going to speak personally, and I came here when I was 16 years old, my first retreat at 16. Long history here. But if I was to summarize what the Dharma Center does, what it's all about, from my own personal experience, and also teaching for 40 years, it is a place of blessings. All these blessings. And it's not just meditation, which we emphasize a lot. It's really important. Meditation retreat. But studying the Dharma, hearing the Dharma, contemplating, listening, reflecting, even debating. Yeah, I should be debating. Have good debates with each other. And then meditating. And then doing after what comes after meditation? More study, more hearing, more reflection, more contemplation, more meditation. What happens after meditation? More study, more hearing, more over and over and over again, refining Dharma, looking for the real nature of Dharma and having it come out and manifest in your being. That's really it, soaking it out. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, the Dharma is not external. It's not external to us. It's not internal to us. The Dharma is the basis of all experience. So we want to soak that out. And how do we soak that out? Not just through meditation, but through all these different factors that we need to gather, right? So we say that we gather 37 enlightenment factors. That's what we're up to. This place should be really a clear statement. There are 37 awakening factors to gather here. We should study all of them. We should practice all of them. And that means we interact, we have things happen here. It's a training ground. So really, when I read this out, this series of 12 points, or actually it's 11 points of blessing, that's what the Dharma Center is about, gathering blessing. This place is soaked in blessings, not just with profoundly accomplished teachers, and maybe 60, 70, 100, hundreds of accomplished teachers, but profound retreats, people that have spent 6 months to a year studying Abhidhamma, studying Western mysteries, whatever it is, deeply engaged with what is this experience, what are the universal experiences, what is freedom, what is liberation, what is awakening, what's an awake mind. This is what we do at the Dharma Center. And we invite different teachers to come here, and we expose people to different teachers and different paths, and see where they go. And hopefully, people will find teachers that they gravitate towards, and bodies of transmission lines, whether it's perhaps what we call today a Theravadan or Vajrayana, or maybe Zen, or it may be this or that, but people will gravitate through their conditioning to this or that stream of teaching, and hopefully have the discipline to take that up and study very, very deeply. This is really what to me, what the Dharma Center is about. Many opportunities for great happenings and great awakeness. Yeah, it's quite simple. So when I sit here in this room, I have memories and also feeling of wonderful things happening here, including His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, who lived here for a while. His Eminence Jamon Control the Third, for a while. All kinds of teachers. Beautiful, wonderful teachers. And so when we come here into these rooms, we walk the property, so much has happened over 50 years here. And it's not just meditation, not just people meditating, but fantastic things happening that speak of the finest human qualities. That is soaked in blessings. So that's why we keep working here, and we keep trying to provide a good space for people, so that the blessings will flow. They'll keep flowing and flowing of Dharma, Okay. That's my few words.
I have a question.
Sure.
How would you delineate the difference between healing and liberation, freedom from suffering?
There is a conventional compassion, conventional great love. I'm going to speak classically, but also from my own personal experience, but also very classically. There is conventional great love, great support, caring for beings through what we call relative suffering. That might mean sickness. It might mean injury. Physical, what we call today mental, which is physical mental. Put the two words together. Learning. All kinds of things that are relative sufferings due to causes and effects and conditions, being a human being, being any kind of creature. So that healing, which is a new word, I may want to someday see that altered, because it comes with an attitude. But if we change that and we realize to the study of the First Noble Truth, all creatures born on this planet suffer a lot. You're not going to get through this without all kinds of twists of conditioning. The attitude or the idea that there's a perfect human being that's born and somehow we got unlucky with the wrong parents, the wrong schools and everything is completely erroneous. We've never had it so good. How would you like to grow up in Europe for 600 years of constant warfare and blood? How would you like to have every 30, 40, 60 years, 3/4 of your entire population of your village lost due to plague, viruses, infections, and everything else, plus crop loss and starvation and internecine wars? Yeah, this is fantastic. And yet, we're just seeing growing anxiety and happiness and depression. So the attitude that there's something fundamentally to heal may not be quite right. But yet we have to help people, support them to do what? To be in good states. If you're not in a relatively good state, of pretty good health and pretty good mental states, it's going to be very, very difficult to look at your mind's nature. You'll do everything other than look at your mind's nature. Isn't that right? Because what are you going to look at? Woe is me. What about my history? What about my life? Is that right? Mm-hmm. And your whole concern will about what could I do? What can I do to change my misery? But actually, every single being, even the snapping turtles and the painted turtles and so on, that are out there, they're having a really hard time. They're struggling. So, to develop the qualities in the body that feel good, so you can actually rest, you can sit there and you can actually be at ease, and a mental quality that allows you to have the time and space to investigate, this is really rare. So we need a lot of relative compassion and love at all levels to support people to get on with the investigation that's really going to liberate, which is, what is this experience? Otherwise, you're always controlling the experience. You're always going to be fiddling with the chess pieces to get the experience just right so you're happy. It doesn't work that way. That makes sense? It doesn't work that way. So unless you know what really this experience is from deep inside, and why being suffer, and what the freedom of the mind is like intrinsically, like from the very ground of the mind, it's very bewildering. You're always chasing after mirage happinesses, always trying to get your biography correct, always trying to get the story of each other correct. But actually, it turns out, from the history of Dharma, from Shakyamuni Buddha, all through the teachings of Dharma, thousands and thousands of great masters, males and females, and great yogis, and great teachings and written, all the same. It says, mind, all of our minds, are intrinsically, naturally, primordially clear, free, liberated. That's the ground of Dharma. And trying to keep fiddling around with it is good and helpful, but it's not liberative. That's very different. So you can have excellent education. You could even have excellent health. Have you seen this not among you, of course, because you have none of this as such sterling enlightened beings. But have you ever noticed that there's maybe a few people that you know that have a wonderful life, excellent education, good health, and soaked in misery? And turbulence and harm and so on in their lives. So this is the difference. We have relative compassion, we have ultimate compassion. And ultimate compassion are the teachings and the path of finding primordial wisdom, which is inherent in everyone's experience. It's utterly free. Utterly free. And one needs teachings and guidance to go after that realization. And not even just discover or glimpse it, but to soak it out, to keep having that experience, to keep working with it until it becomes a natural part of one's experience. So they're both. We need it. So the Dharma Center is relative compassion. of where teachings of profound ultimate compassion take place. Not too fancy, and not too erroneous a state. I think this is very much a teaching of Namdra Rinpoche. The conditions suitable for liberation, which don't have to be spa baths, masseuse around every corner, and fancy gourmet meal served, but everything sufficient in an excellent feeling that allows unfolding liberation to take place. And a mirror of life, the Dharma Center is 400 acres where anything can happen. Isn't that right? Anything can happen here. Just like being in a city. And that is what one has to practice in retreat, is our obstacles become our food for liberation. Not a perfect heavenly abode where we're calm and happy all the time. We have to find the happiness that's naturally abiding in the freedom of our mind's nature, not trying to control and make a fabrication of happiness. This is Dharma. This is Dharma. And all these symbols and signs are about different degrees of realization of that natural intrinsic freedom and love for beings. So it should be, really should be, naturally, but doesn't always happen. You have to train. The greater the freedom, the greater the sense of freedom, the greater the realization of intrinsic freedom, Buddha nature, must be expressed as a great love and compassion for all sentient beings. If it isn't, there's something completely wrong. The greater the freedom, the less the fear. The greater the freedom, the more effortless it becomes to help beings in appropriate ways that freedom is possible. That's what teachers do. Teachers just take away the fear of freedom. That's all they're doing. They just keep showing, why are you fearful of freedom? Why are you fearful of generosity? Why are you fearful of discipline? Why are you fearful of ethics when you don't have to be? Why wouldn't you be able to help and support beings all day long and not be afraid of running your batteries down, which is a very Western attitude. You know, if I do too much, I'll run my batteries down. Because other cultures go, if I do a lot for others, my batteries will fill up. So as some people are recognizing, the act of meditative concentration is not sufficient for liberation. We're coming to a rebalancing in Western society, which is we started with meditation, we're realizing that something got dropped from the spiritual life. In the rush to meditate, in the mad rush to become liberated, we actually need all the great human qualities to support that. That includes relative compassion. So I would beg to differ with the use of the word healing all the time, because it actually, yes, there's healing, but the attitude of healing perhaps has some difficulties and gets in there thinking one has to heal all the time, when in fact all of us as human beings, by conditioning, are going to struggle with relative phenomena, relative experience, unless we actually break through and find the natural, effortless, primordial wisdom. That would be great healing. Yeah, but the culture of healing, the culture of always healing, is problematic in the Dharma. It is not seeing the First Noble Truth that all human beings, all conditioned formations and all creatures are conflicted because they're chasing after figments in their mind. Meditation is the envelope. It's the space of concentrated, warm, slow cooking, where you take profound points of contemplation and meditative concentration, but especially points of contemplation, and you investigate, you allow it to come to you, you have the space and the time to make profound discoveries. That's what it is. It takes time. I think I told you this week, as my first teacher, Chopal Dorma, Karma Chopal Dorma, said to me when I was a teenager, "Mark, Rome is not built in one day." So too, liberation, which is intrinsically natural, takes time and all great qualities to soak out and make this a great discovery. And then not only make the discovery, then one actually has to cultivate and bring forth the discovery until it's naturally intrinsic in body, speech, and mind, in our interactions. And this takes time. It takes time. And today we're in a mad rush. We have things called weekend retreats. Yeah? Here we had 12 days, which I would call wonderful, excellent, maybe life-changing for some, but it takes time, like any field of interest, discourse, discovery, and discipline, whether it's music, the arts, the sciences, philosophy. It takes time to grow accustomed and make discoveries. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. All good? Short class? Few words? I've had a great time. I wish you well. I wish your wonderful health, and let us do, let's say, a rosary of Avalokiteshvara, of Chenrezig, radiating both relative and absolute compassion and wisdom, the light of wisdom and compassion to all sentient beings, not just humans, all sentient beings, so they really, really do experience this primordial awareness, and they're supported in relative compassion to do that. So let's put ourselves in the radiant body of Chenrezig, sparkling white with utter purity and compassion, liberation, and luminosity of blessings for all sentient beings. Om mani padme hum, 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 Om m As one of my dear root teachers, wonderful teachers, Lowell Rinpoche said before teaching transmission of Mahamudra in India, he said, let's get one thing straight. It's lovely, beautiful, very direct. The Dharma is not about being happy. It's not about being sad. It's about liberation. It's about freedom. Finding freedom and having confidence in that and bringing that out. That's Dharma. Really. Getting beyond always going for relative happiness. Something much bigger. So this is called profound intent. The profound intent of the Dharma. We need to find that. And trust that that's actually possible by having mentors that exhibit that. So let us have a completion, an aspiration, dedication of this profound intent. We're going to need the Omzi back, the chant master. Oya Namo.
Namo. Bhagavan Sugatas in the 10 directions and the 3 times, Gurus, Devas and 3 jewels, all infinite victors as many as the grains of dust in the field. All of you please listen and pay heed to me. From now on, as much virtue as the virtuous actions performed by mind, body, speech, and mind equal to space, accumulated throughout the 3 times and sustained as virtue existing from the beginning, is dedicated together in the expanse of awakening. Having arrived at the stage of knowledge of the victors with their children, may the stage of knowledge of the Sugatas be totally perfected. The great stage was created by the demonstration of the wheel of knowledge and liberation. May the holders of the stages, having perfected their activities, carry happiness to the world and Dharma to all migrating beings. And may yogis be satisfied with the glory of the 10 virtues. Having purified all the suffering of samsara with 6 causes, may we quickly obtain the omniscience of complete Buddhahood. Depending on the force of the accumulated roots of virtue, arising from amazing connections of cause and condition, may the sentient beings of 3 times who exist in samsara, having actualized the ultimate knowledge of their own awareness, perfecting all stages of primordial wisdom through the conduct of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, abide in supreme space free of obscurations, without objectifying the meaningful benefit of others. According to the capacity of disciples, the rain of Dharma falls corresponding with their interest. Having ripened disciples into the state of the 3 Vajras, may we obtain Buddhahood in the vast dimension of Buddha Samantabhadra. In this life, the life that is conditioned, impermanent and empty, the constituents of the 5 elements are complete as the Buddha field of the 5 families. Having arisen in the form of the Guru of Bodhyana in the Bardo, may all sentient beings, led by those with whom one has positive and negative connections, immediately go to the Kacharya abode. Having ripened and liberated the whole range of disciples, through many emanations, the appearances of one's own primordial wisdom, may they all obtain the unsurpassed ultimate result.
And let's all chant it in Tibetan.
Namo Josu Dusu Deshe Jamdende Lama Idam Josu Sedamche Zindu Dangye Garwa Rabjam Kun Tamshe Senshi Dala Gonsuso Dene Daksham Kanyam Tamshe Ki Luna Yisu Geshe Gewele Dusu Sape Gewa Jinyedang Done Yope Gewa Drimenam Dute Janshu Chenpo Yinsunyo Seche Garwe Gompa Tachine Deshe Namki Gompa Yonjoshu Redro Kolo Tape Sachem Kyam Deshe Petwe Tenle Chachine Zikten Desen Droku Cholacho Najo Deshu Paji Jowasho Yudro Korwe Dunya Kunjangne Namkyen Zampe Sangye Nyutosho Gyugyen Dendre Mejo Lekepe Dewe Sawa Sape Tutene Korwa Nepe Dusu nyungyune, kunza chope yeche sajunzo, drida jongi landu ne joshi, sadam ime duje choyushin, modan sampe chogi chanizing, duja doje sumdu minjene, kunza yampe landu sanye shok, sedi duje mita tampase, junye gamgu rinye zindu so, vadorogye lame koshene, zanya drenche sogyu samshem kun, kasho nesu keshvi kyo parsho, yeshe ramna trupa dumayi, duje yungu minshi drogyurne, lame dangi drebu shor parsho.
Wonderful. See you later.
Thank you.
May we meet again soon. May the Dharma flourish in your hearts and your minds, heart minds, and really good health and prosperity in every single way. I mean, blessings. May the blessings flow. Wonderful.
Long life.